what's up? It's Matt in Japan, and welcome back to my channel. And today we're taking a look at Transformers Kingdom War for Cybertron Trilogy. This is Core Class Autobot Hot Rod. So let's take a quick look at the packaging. On the upper left, you get a picture of Hot Rod holding some sort of Energon Sword. I'm not really sure what that's all about, but you see a very nice piece of artwork as usual. Takara Tomy, Generations, logo, Transformers down the side. You see him there in the packaging. As mentioned, he is a core class figure. You have some product information on the bottom, and on the back, you have your product shots here of Hot Rod in his robot mode, and he converts in 8 steps to his vehicle mode. So without further ado, let's get this little core class Hot Rod cracked open and see what he's all about. Okay, so you have core class Hot Rod out of the packaging. Let's take a look at the one accessory he does come with, and that is his little Energon Sword here. And it's very interesting. The actual red plastic on this is very nice. That's some nice sculpted detail on this part here and on the other side. But as far as the blue paint here, I kind of know what they're going for, sort of the Energon, sort of energy flowing through the sword here. But it comes off as just very like vein looking. Looks like veins from some like Halloween monster or something. So I'm not really too fond of the weapon here, but it is on a 3mm peg here, so it can just plug in his hand like so, and he can hold his sword just fine. So kind of a weak weapon. So taking a look at the details on this guy, take a look at the head sculpt. The head sculpt is actually very nice. You get some gray plastic for the face, and you get some light blue paint for the eyes, and you have a decent head sculpt there. You get some little bit of molded detail on the crest and on the side there. And you get some really nice orange and yellow paint on the chest with the Autobot logo there. And going down the figure, the rest is just sort of red plastic. And you do get a little bit of sculpted detail on the forearms there, but not a whole lot. You get a little bit of orange on the upper thighs and a little bit of sculpted detail on the legs and the shins here. And going around the figure, you sort of see how he looks. From the back, he's not too interesting to look at from the back. You have the stamp there, and also what's up with the hollow head. This is just crazy to me. The fact that they, all the other core class figures have had solid heads, and this guy is just hollow. So you can just, that shows how hollow it is. A little bit unfortunate. This is definitely the weakest of the core class figures, in my opinion. I can tell just getting him out of the box. He sort of looks like a very old, sort of cheap toy from, kind of back in the day. He doesn't really fit along. And if you can tell already, getting him out of the packaging, he's just floppy. He's super floppy. These joints here are very loose. And, just holding him by the legs, look, he can't even stand up straight. So right out of the packaging, you get some really loose ball joints. And what's up with these stubby forearms? I'm kind of... I don't know. I don't mean to be like crapping on this figure already, but just out of the box, it's I'm not too impressed. Anyways, so let's take a look at some of the details here. You do get some nice paint. You get some nice silver paint for the pipes here and stuff. And there's some nice paint on the chest. And there's some nice yellow paint for the fin back there. But overall, it's the proportions are kind of weird. And he looks, I don't know, he just kind of looks cheap. So let's do a quick comparison before we get into articulation. Let's do a quick comparison of him. And there's Optimus Prime, and there's Rat Trap. So just some other Autobots in the core class line there. So you see how they scale with each other. Definitely Optimus and Rat Trap were really good figures. And they, I think Hot Rod pales in comparison with these two. And also, let's bring in some Decepticons for just a quick Decepticon core class comparison. There's Megatron and Starscream and Soundwave. So let's just do a quick comparison with the Decepticons. And all the Decepticon core class figures have been very strong. They're all great. I like all of them. Unfortunately, Flop Rod here is not living up to the standards here. So, it's just very unfortunate. I'm not really sure why this exists or where this kind of came from. I do have just one more comparison. It's Origins Bumblebee, so you get a sense of what the scale is here. So let's take a look at this guy's articulation. His head is on a swivel here, and it's very hard to get all the way around. And again, like I showed you, the hollow head there, so not great. His arms, again, you can move them out a little bit, so you get a little bit of shoulder bend there. And they are just on a ball joint here, so you can get the full 360 on the upper arm. There's about a 90 degree at the elbow, and just, yeah, this, look at the forearm on this guy. It's so short. I mean, it's like ridiculous. Like the ball joint is there, and then his hand is here. So, yeah, just the proportions are a little bit off. So getting his arms out of the way there. He does have nothing at the waist because this is actually molded in here, so he's got no waist swivel. He can do the full splits. And because these are all ball joints, you do get a little bit of movement there. He can actually kick up pretty high. So he's got the high kicks. He's got the back kicks. He's got the splits. The ball joint at the knee, so it can bend like that. And it does have a 90 degree at the knee. And there's absolutely, there's nothing at the foot. That is all just one molded in piece, as you see here. Actually, a lot of hollowness on this figure as well. Again, I think this guy is just not up to par with the other core class figures. You know, Optimus being one of those, it's just a really good figure. He seems very solid. His joints are tight. You know, you do have some loose bits, but just not as much as this guy. And again, it's very unfortunate. I don't think this is a good choice for a core class figure. We've had so many hot rods, and I'm just not sure why we need another one. Anyways, enough complaining about this guy. Let's get him transformed and see how his vehicle mode fares. All right, so you have Core Class Hot Rod all transformed into his vehicle mode, and the transformation was not very hard at all. The instructions are very clear, but one thing you really have to be careful is that everything is pegged in and sort of tucked in and tight on this guy. I was having a little bit of trouble with this hood part, tabbing into the front section here. And also I realized this part here in the back wasn't tabbed in all the way. So you got to really make sure everything's nice and tight. Although when I barely touch it, this roof part does tend to pop up. Supposedly there's supposed to be two little tabs under here, but it does not really, doesn't really peg in so well. So again, I'm having some problems with the gap there. So no matter how many times I kind of push it down, it does tend to pop up a little bit. So once you push down on this, the roof pops up. And it's kind of little bit finicky. So please make sure everything is tabbed in. Once everything is tabbed in, it does hold itself pretty well. So anyways, getting a look at the details here. You have some really nice paint, orange and yellow paint on the front of the hood. You get a nice detail with some silver paint on the engine block there. You get some gray paint for the windshield and the side windows. And of course, some nice silver paint for the pipes on the side. And again, some nice yellow paint for the fin there. You get a little bit of sculpt work, some line work there, which is very nice. On the back, it's not too great from the back. But I definitely think this shines more in vehicle mode than robot mode. And unfortunately, you do get those little sort of mushroom pegs for the tires. But for a core class figure, that is to be expected. Although we did see some different tires on Optimus. We'll bring them in here for a comparison in a sec. So yeah, overall, I like the vehicle mode. And there's weapon storage. There's a peg there, and there's actually a hole on the back of the sword right there. So weapon storage is always nice. You can have them cruising around with that sort of Energon Sword pointing away at the Decepticons. So very cool. It's nice to have weapon storage. Yeah, so vehicle mode looks pretty good. I actually like the vehicle mode. Definitely better than the robot mode. And he seems, you know, like I said, once he's all transformed and put together right, he's pretty tight. So does he roll? Yeah, actually he rolls pretty nicely. So anyways, doing some vehicle comparisons here. Here we have Core Class Optimus Prime. And let's just see how they compare in their vehicle modes. Obviously, Hot Rod's a little bit longer. Optimus seems to be a little bit shorter here, although they're pretty much the same in robot mode. And then it's going to bring in the Core Class Tank mode for Megatron. And you see how they compare there. And, of course, Megatron is like twice the width. But as far as height, without the cannon there, they're about the same size. So there's just a quick vehicle mode comparison there. So we'll get these guys out of the way. And let's take a look again. Just leave him there. Final thoughts for this figure. Definitely the vehicle mode I like better. Robot mode's a little bit of a mess. I can't recommend this figure at all. I think he's, again, you know, out of the box, he's kind of floppy. I just don't like those stubby forearms. The hollow head just kind of feels cheap to me. The vehicle mode's a little bit better, but yeah, I would skip this one, guys, if I were you. I rarely, you know, say kind of bad things about figures, because I really do love a lot of the figures, and it's hard to criticize figures sometimes. But this one, yeah, I have a lot of complaints about. I cannot recommend this figure. If you're a completionist, you want to get all the core class figures, great. But again, I'm not sure why they went with Hot Rod for this figure. There's a million other Autobots they could have chosen. I don't think this was the best choice. Anyways, this has been Matt in Japan for Core Class Hot Rod. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Have a great day.